Hey guys, we're back and we are coming at you from the wake up call in the U District. Awesome spot if you guys haven't checked it out. We are here to give you a May real estate and mortgage update. And also, I saw a headline the other day and have actually kind of heard a decent amount of chatter about it in some seminar stuff I've been to. And the headline was, "Are you fearful it's 2008 all over again?" So we're going to chat about some of those headlines and hopefully give you some information to kind of empower you to listen above the noise. And so have some facts around that. So as always, Rich with Spokane Home Guy.
Mike Hogan with Chimney Rock Mortgage.
Awesome. So looking at May data, we actually saw a little bit of a rebound. I think the last video we had, we were talking about a little bit of a decline in April. So May saw the average home sale price go up to 513,000, just a little bit over that, which is an 8% increase from the month of April and just under a 4% increase year over year. We saw closed sales jump up 20% month over month and 3.8% year over year. The leading indicators that we look at are the pendings. And so what I thought was interesting is going from, for the month of May, we did see new pendings tick up a little bit, 5.5%, new pendings tick up 5.5% and 18.6% year over year. So there was good activity heading into kind of this summer market. We saw active inventory tick up 18% month over month and 16% year over year, which isn't super exciting because that's the stuff that's the market as a whole. And of that, the new listings were up 6% month over month and pretty much flat year over year. We are seeing more homes that didn't get an offer. We are seeing that, tick up as well. So, whether it's, buyers taking a little more time to make a decision, higher interest rates, we are seeing inventory sit on the market a little bit longer, sitting right now at 36 days on market and a little over 3 months worth of inventory. So, I mean, it's definitely changing from, seller's market we saw in 2020 and 2021.
For sure, but to go back to your question, is it's just as 2008. I mean, in 2008, what was there, a year and a half worth of inventory on the market at any given time?
Oh yeah,
if not more than that.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
36 days seems like a long time recently, but in reality, it's really not that long at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think when I first got into real estate 14 years ago, the average days on market here was, gosh, anywhere between 90 and 120 days was kind of the norm. You'd be on the market 3 or 4 months unless you were just priced super aggressively. So, the other article I was reading, and not so positive for you guys, but mortgage rates sitting, I think the national average is like 6.93, which is the highest since July, and saw some applications drop.
Yeah, for sure in May. And now that we're sitting here early in June, interest rates this week are the best they've been in over a month. We're back to where May started when we had good activity. There's an ADP private jobs report that came out yesterday. Not many jobs were added, and there are more companies laying off people. So typically, if you see fewer jobs being added and people being laid off, long-term rates will come down.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, to tie real estate and, bond investment together, because they directly, real estate's affected by bond rates and, which affects mortgage rates. We're not seeing that normal flow of money out of the stock market into bonds to keep rates low. We're seeing it completely skip bonds and either go foreign or go into gold commodities. I mean,
Yeah, I think that there is some uneasiness in the financial markets about where to invest, what options are out there, and part of it's probably what, some unknown on the tariffs.
yeah. Yeah, and so if we transition, the headline, is it 2008 all over again? Should you be worried? I think the short answer is no, but I'd like to unpack that a little bit. I was in Charleston about a month ago, and a guy that has a handful of connections on Wall Street. The Wall Street traders' opinion is we could see 4 or 5s, but 2 things need to happen. Number one, we have to get clarity on tariffs, or ideally just have more favorable, reduce trade deficits. And number 2, the war in Ukraine, there needs to be some sort of resolution with that. So 2 big things that need to happen in order, I think, really just for people to have peace of mind of feeling good about investing in bonds.
Well, yeah, I mean, financial markets in general and bonds for sure do not like, they like consistency. They like to know what's happening. Any uneasiness can cause a problem in that. But, kind of to flip the coin in 2008, remember at 2008, there was foreclosure after foreclosure after foreclosure, empty house after empty house after empty house. I mean, there were empty neighborhoods in some cities, and that is not the case where we're at today.
Yeah.
We are in a pretty balanced still real estate market.
Yeah, with foreclosures, I mean, I looked at it today and it's like less than 0.1% of the homes that sell here locally. And we've always, when the national real estate market in 2008, 2009 was seeing 20, 30, 40% declines, we saw 9.8 in Spokane County. And in our county, like we've never had a double digit decline.
No, and we didn't have those empty neighborhoods. Spokane wasn't one of those speculative neighborhoods like even a Boise that is close, or a Vegas or a Phoenix where people were building homes that, unfortunately, no one actually needed.
Yeah.
It's part of the problem.
Yeah. So if we like, point one is we didn't have the glut of inventory. We don't have that now. We had a way oversupply in 2008, 2009, where builders and sellers, I mean, they're either leaving them vacant or they're just building, which was far outpacing demand.
For sure.
Yeah. And, I think now, so we do not have inventory problem as far as too much. We still have too little, which is keeping prices stable. But you mentioned a couple of cities or a couple of states that are kind of our usual suspects.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think if you're probably looking across the country and you see, well, homes are decreasing, that's probably in Florida. It's probably in Arizona. It's probably in, places like Oregon or California where there's been traditionally a lot of second homes.
Yeah.
And second homes, according to what I read this week, just aren't as, people aren't buying second homes as much as they did
Yeah.
during COVID.
Yeah. Well, you nailed it. That's 40%. I mean, there was 10 states where, the average price decline before they sold was 20%. So, and it's Oregon, California, it's Arizona, Florida, Colorado was one of them. So those second home states, where like in 2020, 2021, you can get into a second home for 2%, 3%. Didn't cost you much on a monthly
No, not at
basis.
all.
Now it's,
Well, now, and you probably, quite honestly, in a second home, you may have not overpaid, right? I mean,
yeah,
there was such a frenzy to move, like Colorado, the prime example. I bet a lot of people are like, I want to get out of California or out of Oregon and move back to, move to Colorado because they don't have COVID in Colorado, and now they're moving back.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so some of the moves that took place 4 or 5 years ago because of whatever politics or, you know, personal opinions or views or anything along those lines, like that trades off.
That is for sure off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So the other thing too is, if you look at mortgages in 2008, 2009, adjustable rate mortgages, subprime, and basically if you could fog a mirror and could make it into the bank and state whatever you needed to state for assets, income, all that stuff, you didn't have to provide any proof of that, but it's different now.
Well, I mean, I think that, I often get asked, well, why do you need that? Well, that kind of goes back to what was happening in the 2000s. Part of why things got so broken is, like you said, you could state your income, you could state your asset, and you could do it over and over and over again and own all these homes. And, as rental properties that you never had to prove anything on.
Yeah.
And now we're surprised that some of those loans didn't work out. Now you have to do that stuff. So it is providing protections not only for people that are borrowing money, but it's also stabilizing any concerns with if people continue to afford their houses.
Yeah. Yeah. So better regulation, like it or not, around the mortgage side, like keeps that from turning into, kind of that no income, no asset, ninja loans, whatever
Yeah,
the term
no, that
was.
was the
Yeah.
term.
Yeah. No income, just have to be able to breathe.
Yeah,
You're good to
no
go.
question.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too, when you look back in like 2008, and really it's more related to investment and less about real estate, because we kind of covered like it's either a supply or demand issue and it's a regulatory issue. Is it easier to get into a home? And how's the supply and demand balance? The other thing is like we're not seeing some of the kind of crazy stuff that Wall Street was doing with like packaging these loans. We're not seeing the subprime loans either.
No, I mean, the subprime where you really didn't have to do much to get a loan has gone away. There are still obviously some non-QM options, but you still have to, at some point in time, the lender has to verify that you do have the income to qualify for this loan, regardless if it's through bank statements or, asset depletion and some of those sorts of things. But you still have to show that you can afford this house.
Yeah. Yeah. And non QM is non qualified
Yeah.
mortgage. So your traditional like FHA, VA, conventional, those are all QM loans. They kind of fit within a box. They have the same underwriting, procedure standard, and that's 99% of the loans that
Well,
are out
yeah,
there right
most
now.
of the loans are conventional or the government loans anyway. And I wouldn't want to give the impression that it's hard to get a loan now. It was just way too easy before. I mean, if you're even considering purchasing a house, go ahead and reach out and let's figure out your budget and figure out what you can afford. And, I think you might be surprised that the answer might be yes faster than you think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just to kind of sum it up, like check the local weather, not national. Our county has always been pretty isolated, not completely like removed from, the negative news or the effects of like nationwide real estate. It's not as extreme, and like fundamentally, we still have low inventory. We still have buyer demand. And if you look, I think these houses that were selling for 60, 70, $80,000 in 2008, those are three, four,
Yeah,
$500,000 homes on average right now. So as far as an asset's concerned and kind of peace of mind, I think it's just headline.
I would agree
I
with
think
that.
it's a news grab, and so look at the fundamentals. And either one of us or anyone on our teams are happy to chat with you about it. And as always, I mean, we can be reached at 509-990 sold.
And we can be reached at 509-747-1300.
Yeah, come check out Wake Up Call on Sprague in the U District. It's a really cool spot.
Yes, it is.